Hello, this is Dr. Larry Straub, and the video that I'm going to do today is on the topic of charisma, how to get it, how to keep it. Now, the first thing you might notice is that my charisma doesn't just jump off the screen at you like some Hollywood actor. Well, that's true, but I don't think that's necessarily what we're talking about and that it's necessary for that to be the case. Charisma comes in many forms, and like anything, it falls on a continuum from one side to the next and a lot of points in between. One thing that's safe to say in relation to business is if you're going to have a transformational effect on a business or an organization, a little charisma helps, and a lot of charisma helps a lot. So how do we develop charisma if we don't feel like that's necessarily our strength? The good news is I think it can be developed, and I think many people have developed it through the years. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the types of things we can and maybe can't do and being realistic about this. I do believe that you can grow charisma, but you have to be able to isolate what you can and cannot impact. And one of the easiest ways is to look at and acknowledge people that we think and would most of us realize that have charisma, and in many cases an abundance of charisma, and deconstruct their skill sets. What is it that draws us to them? What is it that draws the masses to them? What types of skills, what types of abilities, what type of natural attributes? We know many of those. Good looks obviously helps, being tall helps, having a really effusive personality helps. Many of those type of qualities are pretty obvious. And also many of those qualities, not every one of us has in natural supply. So we have to figure out different ways to project. So studying and deconstructing people that have charisma is the first step, and isolating what it is and what types of skills we can possibly emulate. When we do isolate and we do deconstruct, we can hopefully determine things that we can't impact and things that we can. Once again, we're not going to probably be able to make ourselves taller. We can't change our looks a ton. We can enhance what we've got. Our physical structures, a lot of things, height, different things we can't, but we can make ourselves the best version of ourselves. We can maybe lose a little weight. We can maybe tone up a little bit, things like that that might be impactful. What we can do is we can do certain things like education. People who know things, people who have high levels of education, people who have the quiet confidence that comes along with all of that are many times the ones that we are drawn to, and they do exhibit large amounts of charisma, even though they may not have some of the other natural attributes and qualities. But I think the most important thing that we need to do is to be natural, to be empathetic, and be engaging. And that comes from understanding, that comes from confidence, but mostly that comes from self-awareness and practicing. I think in essence, at the end of the day, charisma comes down to this. When somebody leaves your presence, do they feel better about themselves? When somebody leaves your presence, do they feel like they've seen the best version of themselves reflected in you? And I think that's what we're most drawn to, is people that make us feel good about ourselves, make us feel like a better version of ourselves. And that is a skill that we can all work on. That's a skill that we can all gain. I hope that you found this helpful, and I'll look forward to speaking with you again. Thank you.